just got back from Cambridge, my daughter's wedding. These out here are not doing very well, and I didn't expect them to. However, I've given them a dose of liquid fert. Now I've put some wood ashes in there. I've got some water going and other things. I've still got weeds to spray. God, what a nightmare. So much work. That wedding has just taken so much of my time. I mean, I've got a 4-hour drive to Christchurch, then I've got a 2-hour flight, and then I've got all the mucking around getting rental cars and hotel accommodation and all that crap that goes with it. Anyway, we'll have a look at what's going on in this greenhouse. Again, there's some huge leaf in here, and probably 4 or 5 that are doing well. There's some that are not, but you get that, and I've got some weeds coming up I'll have to get into, but not today. I didn't get back until last night, but they look pretty good really. I mean, at this late stage in the season, to get this, and then I'll let them go to a second crop. I'm not sure whether that'll come to anything or not, but it doesn't matter. But I've got to have a huge shout out to Air New Zealand in Hamilton. What a lovely bunch of people there at that airport. Absolutely terrific. I got there yesterday morning, and then I saw that there were a couple of later flights, and I'd already checked my bags. This lovely Air New Zealand woman got me a seat on another plane 2 hours earlier. Recovered my bags, changed all the tags, did all the work for me, gave me a new boarding pass, a whole lot. And that was totally different to Christchurch Airport. What an absolute disaster. Half the self-check-in machines were not working. And then I finished up, I got a boarding pass for somebody else going to Nelson, and I only got a half of one of my bag tags. I had 2 bags, one with my tucks in it, and so anyway I had to get into the queue with this guy to do it manually. He was good. He got the business done pretty quick. And then I went to the bag drop, and there's a queue there, and the reason was that a whole bunch of Asian people trying to check their bags, and because they can't read English, they had no idea what was going on, and the woman that was meant to be looking after it was sidetracked by this arrogant Karen who wouldn't let her go and do her job. So I left my bags with another woman I didn't know, and jumped over the barriers and got these Asian people moving. They were very thankful. They were nice people. Got them going. I couldn't change the machine to Chinese so they could work it out themselves. So there was 4 of them there, and I bounced between the 4, got them moving, and then I got a huge round of applause from everybody that was queued up, and then they wanted me to go first in the line. I had plenty of time. I said, no, I'm all right. You get moving. So that was that. So Air New Zealand absolutely failed in Christchurch Airport. It was terrible. When I got to Hamilton, I had to, I think it was budget, and I was toyed with. There was nobody at the counter, and then the sign was hidden. There was another woman in front of me, and then there was a sign hidden behind the counter that said, if you're checking in with budget, go to the Avis counter, which was right next door, which was a huge long queue. This poor girl was doing her best. Cut a long story short, she was absolutely lovely. Gave me keys to the car, told me where it was, but I walked that whole car park in Hamilton and couldn't find the car. So I went back there, and she said, I'll show you where it is. And then she got confused. I thought, this is not a pretty look, until she pushed the locate button on the remote. and what had happened is the sign for that bay was gone. So anyway, a lovely girl, everything was good, and I stayed in a great hotel with a taxi service in Cambridge. Man, what a mission. I couldn't get through to these people. If I had to, I'd drive to the wedding, but I didn't want to. It just meant that I couldn't have a beer. So anyway, the hotel sorted it out for me, and I got my taxi there, and it was all good. The wedding was lovely. I spent an hour putting my tux on, walked my daughter down the aisle. I probably shouldn't say this, but every time I went out in the car park to have a smoke, there was some woman that wanted to have sex with me, so I did pretty good there. Left there about, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, went back to and there was one woman that wanted to come with me, and I said, no, you're not coming with me, I've got an early start in the morning, you're not keeping me awake all night. So went back to the hotel, and I thought I had some snacks. I was getting hungry, but I didn't. For whatever reason, I forgot to pack them, so I had a couple of biscuits that were supplied there, and that was that, and I crashed out. Then I drove to Hamilton Airport. My GPS got absolutely confused because of all the housing developments. And these roads haven't been re-gazetted. So I managed to work it out myself. Waze was confused, and so I got back to the airport, and it was good. But it was a great wedding, and I was so proud to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle in my tux, and I was also pleased that my son wore his tux, so I wasn't the only one wearing a tux. A great crowd. I mean, they were lovely people. There was no fighting and scrapping, and I even got along with my sister for the first time in I don't know how many years. So that's today's story. All right, boys and girls, I'm having a quiet day. I mean, yesterday I came back, landed early, and then I got caught between, I think you call them B trains, a truck and two trailers. They wouldn't pull off to let people pass through Lewis Pass, and that cost me another half an hour in travel. I was going to get some fish and chips and Reefton and then head home. Trouble was the fish and chip shop was shut. I don't know when it opens, I've never been there. So I got home just before sundown. It was a long weekend, and it cost me a lot of money. I mean, rental car for 2 days was over $500. It was expensive, but I'm glad I did. I managed to get haircuts. I couldn't get a haircut. I drove to Reef and tried to get a haircut. She wasn't open. So I drove to Greymouth. There's 2 hairdressers there. First one I went to, which was my preferred one, they were closed, and sign on the door, gone fishing, because now it's tuna season. And they probably own a tuna boat, I don't know. So I went to the second one, which I don't particularly like. She's a pretty arrogant woman. And there was a queue 100 mile out the door, so I couldn't get a haircut. And I wasn't waiting there for 2 hours, because I'd just done all my food shopping. I had frozen's on ice in the back there. And then on my way to Christchurch, I stopped off at Amberley, the barber there, and there was only 2 people in front of me. She said, normally it'd only be 20 minutes, but then I'm closing up and I'm going to go and have lunch, so it'll be 2 hours, because I've got a plane to catch. So that was the end of that. So I got to Cambridge, and that was late. It was 6 o'clock at night, I think. Next morning at 8:15, I fronted up at this barber in Cambridge, and I was waiting for him to open, and he came out and he said, "Do you want a haircut?" I said, "Yeah," and he said, "We don't do haircuts." Can you believe that? A barber that doesn't do haircuts. He said, "We just shave it all off or do a short back and sides. We don't use scissors." He said, "You might find a place around the corner." But he said it's a fair way away. So I walked around the corner, found a couple of girls that were setting up for a little breakfast bar thing, like, I don't know, wasn't a restaurant, it was sort of you buy snacks and coffee. And I talked to them and they said, oh, there's a barber down the road, but it's a fair way to walk. Well, it was only about 30 metres. And this little Indian guy was opening. And I said to him, will you cut hair? And he said, yes, sir. What do you want? I said, I just want this all shortened up and tidied up for a wedding. And he said, I can do it for you right now. Well, he spent a half an hour on me. He did a fantastic job. He's a lovely little 19-year-old man from the Punjab, only been in New Zealand for a year. And he's one of the few that I've seen that's a real asset. He's actually working. He's not doing any crime or anything else. He was a lovely young man and he did a fantastic job and he took a lot of care. So I managed to get a haircut. Got back to the hotel room, spent an hour putting my tux on. It's only the shirt. The shirt takes so much bloody time. I mean, you got four layers on the cuffs to get your cufflinks in, and then you got studs in every buttonhole that are in and out, in and out, in and out. And then you got this button around your neck that never wants to go because the buttonhole is so small. So I got that done, and the taxi arrived. Took me out there, it was all good, but he only accepted cash. Well, luckily I had some cash, so he's a bit of a shonky driver. So that's it for today, a bit long-winded, so God bless you all, and I hope I'm having a restful day and a few ciders. All right, bye.